Okay,
So good morning. It is March 9th, 2022. It's Wednesday, and I'm here with Tandy Bowman. So thank you very much for being a part of the collection.
you're quite welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
It's exciting.
Yes,
What have you heard about it so far?
that you guys listen to people's stories and try to incorporate them to a legacy that others will be able to learn from and grow from. And, we can't tell enough of our stories.
True. I'm finding I still have old stories I haven't told anybody.
Exactly. Because
Something
one
like
story will
this.
trigger another story.
Exactly. Actually, this has being part of this has made me remember a lot of my own past that I sort of said, oh, well, I'm done with that.
Exactly. Yeah. Realize that we have a lot of things buried deep inside. If we haven't dealt with them somewhere along our path, they will come up and we will have to face them or stuff them again, but eventually we will all have to face them.
They're still a part of you.
Yes.
Yes, what you do with it. So what is your occupation?
I am an activity director for a senior living community.
And how did you evolve into that position?
Well, I was a vendor at the senior communities. I provided empowerment drumming for over 45 senior communities in the Sacramento Davis area. I went all the way up to Auburn, to Placerville area, to Davis, Sacramento, and I provided a 1-hour drumming opportunity for either assisted living, independent living, skilled living, and memory care, where we drummed for an hour, sang music, and had a blast.
Huh. How did you learn how to do that? How to drum?
Music is a part of me. That's just who I am. I've been that way ever since I was a child. And as I got older, living in Minnesota, it was kind of hard if you weren't born in Minnesota. You're an implant into it. It's really hard to find a job, especially in Bemidji, Minnesota, way up in the Northland. And so I did a lot of research, came up and found a health rhythms program and went through the training and decided to incorporate my own program through the training and started doing some small communities in Bemidji. There's not a lot of senior communities in the Bemidji area. And then when we moved back to California, I started at the Sacramento Children's Home as a music instructor, and then went from there to another that was just part-time. Then I went to full-time into an adult living, mentally challenged, developmentally disabled organization. And on the weekends, I would do the drumming here in California until I got established. And then I went full-time about 5 years ago, doing just the empowerment drumming for the senior communities. And when COVID hit, that was kind of a no-brainer that it was going to be a stop. I couldn't go into them. So I started providing free drumming outside in the parking lot. I would drum and have a great time. And I had a friend that I met through drumming with his mom at one of his senior communities. And then the two of us would sit in the parking lot and drum and have a good time. And then when it got too hot, I was like, okay, now what am I going to do? So I looked up one of my senior communities that I provided the drumming to, and they were in need of some more people because a lot of the employees were starting to really get, panicky and scared with the COVID, and some were just walking off the job. Really? So I walked into the job and said, hey, how can I help? And so for the past year and a half, I've been doing my training on activity director, and I got the first portion down, so I'm considered an activity director professional until I go through my second module, and then I'll be a full-fledged certified activity director for senior communities.
An amazing evolution.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I love what I do.
That's great. Have you always focused on drumming or other music?
Well, my special gift is my voice. It's also my degree. I have a bachelor's degree in music history and vocal performance.
Mhm.
So it's a dual. I'm one of two in this history of Bemidji State University that hold that particular degree of music history. It's not one of the regular ones. So I felt pretty special, and I'm the only one that has a music history / vocal performance. So
Did you design that degree, or was it designed? when you
I
fit
designed
into
it with my professor because I
great.
didn't fit into the mode. I don't fit into the modes. And so
All right.
we tried to figure out something that would fit mine, and that was the one that worked the best. And so that's my degree. I'm a self-taught pianist, self-taught guitarist, self-taught percussionist. So I just do anything that has to do music. I love music.
Good for you. So will you be sending us a sample of your music that we can put in your interview?
I could do that. Yes, I could do that.
That'd be great.
In
We're
fact,
trying to incorporate things like that.
Okay. I just submitted a competition composition for Vox Musica here in Sacramento. A friend of ours hooked me up and said, "Hey, they're taking compositions for this year's concert. You want to give it a try?" And so between he and I see, I don't write the music. It comes from my heart, my head. I don't know how to put it on the paper, but I know how to play it and sing it. So I sent all of my stuff to him. He put it on paper. Then we submitted it to him. So now I'm waiting to find out whether or not it's been chosen for their May concert, but it's in there. One of my compositions.
When will you find out?
That's a good question. I know their concert is May 2022.
Oh, soon, huh?
So I'm not sure if I'm sure I'll probably find something out by the end of this month or next month. They said within the next couple of weeks. The deadline was March 1st. So I'm assuming sometime by the end of March, I will know.
That's a long time. That waiting is really hard, isn't it? I never liked
it. I put it out in the universe. What happens with it happens with it.
Right. But even so, I wish the universe would speed it up.
That's okay. I've learned to be patient with the universe.
Good, good. Must be drumming that helps that. So give us a sample of the drumming that we'd like that.
Yes, I will do that. I can do that. I can do a sample of that.
So you were born in Minnesota?
Oh no, I was born and raised in Texas. I am a Texas kid.
Oh,
however, I don't think I'm not quite happy about being known that I'm a Texan at this point in history. I'm not very happy with Texas right now, but yes, I was born and raised in Texas.
Okay.
Lived there until I was 22. And then because I am a Southern Baptist preacher's kid, one of the things that I did for a year is I traveled with my father as a Mission Service Corps volunteer. And through the training, they ask you to volunteer someplace and do some type of work. And so when the training came, my father told me, raise your hand and do anything that they ask you to do.
Really?
Being that good Southern Baptist kid that I was, as soon as they said, hey, we need a music director and youth director in Minnesota, I raised my hand.
So how old were you when you did that?
I was 22.
Huh? Well, that's a good age.
And I moved there, and I didn't move back until 1997 when I graduated from college, Bemidji State University. I traveled. I stayed on for one more year to be my choir director asked me to hang on so that I could be the choral choir director assistant. So I would help them run our European tour trip. We would take a trip every 2 years. We would go to Europe and do either the top part of Europe or the bottom half of Europe. And so he asked if I'd stay on and assist with that. So I did. So in 1998, I moved back from Minnesota back to Texas to tour with the Zambian a cappella choir. And then
so a lot
I stayed
of your
there.
Music experiences, vocal.
Yes, mostly vocal. Yes.
Interesting. So do you have siblings?
I have one brother. He still lives in Texas.
Now,
he's
we're in
married.
Texas. I have a really good friend from Texas, so he's going to ask me.
Okay, my brother lives in Dallas still, in the Dallas area. So we were born in the San Antonio area, down by Pleasanton, Lytle Lake, in there. I was actually born in Amarillo, and then we moved from Amarillo down to the Lytle, Somerset area, which is down by San Antonio. So that's the biggest city and closest to us. And then when I graduated high school, I went into Leakey, Texas, which is closer up to like the New Braunfels and Bernie area. And I went to junior college at Uvalde State Junior College.
You have moved around.
I did. I moved around. I like to move. I like to travel.
That. That's music. That's your music, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So are your parents still living?
No, my brother and I are orphans now. They have since passed on. My mother passed away in 2019, I believe, a year before the COVID stuff hit. So that was a blessing. I'm glad she didn't have to go through that.
No.
And my father passed away in 2012. So,
do you have any lesbians or gay men in your family that you know about?
Not, well, I believe that my, okay, I've got to figure out how the connection goes here. So it's my brother's daughter's oldest son. I guess that would be my great nephew.
Right.
Okay, so my great nephew, I believe, is trying to figure out if he is or isn't. He believes that he is. He's having a hard time. Well, he did. My brother shared this with us, with Kathy and I think 4 years ago, and that he was really having a hard time with it. And they asked, how do we help him to know that he's okay and safe? And so we kind of like had that conversation with him.
That's great that they came to you, huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. And so I'm not sure how he's doing. It's one of those, it's a Texas thing. You don't talk about it.
Right.
So I can say, hey, how's he doing? And, he's always doing okay. He's doing okay.
How old is he?
Gosh, I believe he's probably mid-20s now. So he's young, and he's in the, it's so much different now for everyone to come out, because it's so accepting with the younger generation now, but yet it's not in certain parts. It's very still confusing. So, and then I know that I have my aunt, her brother is a gay man, but he's a Catholic gay man. So he's tried, from my understanding from my aunt, that he's not practicing. So
well, that's good for all of us that are practicing.
Yes. So I told my aunt once before, I said, you know what, I don't have to practice anymore. I've got it. We're perfect. We're fine. It's not about practicing anymore.
What did she say to that?
She kind of like tuned it off and did another conversation.
That's enough of that, right? Yeah. What would you like for dinner?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll remember that. It's not practicing.
I don't have to practice anymore. We got it down perfect.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. We're setting the style for others to follow us, so you'll be an inspiration in that. So that's one of the things that we are in 2 archives. Cal State Dominguez Hills, our archivist there does pull that information out. You'll see it when you look at that archives. It'll indicate homosexual genetic links. And so it can be used for research, that part of that information.
I have to believe that there's probably more in my family, just never. I would have sworn that my great grandmother and my grandmother both were or had tendencies, but just never acted on them,
right,
because of their generation. But I can, deep down inside of me, when you are a lesbian or a gay man, it's that internal instinct of us. We know, you just know that I guess, for lack of a term, the gaydar comes out.
When did you first know for yourself?
I knew when I was 3.
3, okay. How'd you know that?
I knew that it was different to be around women than men. And I
Uh.
enjoyed being in the company of men when it came to doing things, outdoor things, being around that kind of testosterone, but I wanted to be the comfort of the woman. And I had
You know all that at 3?
I did. I
Oh,
did. I
great.
knew that. I knew that what do you call it? Sunday school teacher. My Sunday school teacher was so very kind and gentle and tender, and I just wanted to sit with her all the time. I just wanted to be near her, and I got to think, is there something wrong with me? Is that okay? Is it okay to be wanting to be around her all the time? And so I was excited to go to church so I could go to Sunday school so I could see
I learned
her.
to read. It was the same excitement, right? I was 5.
Exactly.
You beat me. You were 2 years ahead of me.
Okay.
But you do. Yeah.
And I knew that, and I knew my body was different when I was 3. I knew that, all kids explore, right?
Uh-huh.
We just find things in our body. We go, oh, okay, that's what that is. Well, I knew then that, okay, something's different here.
Very good.
I liked that, So I just knew at 3 that there was something totally different with me.
Then when did you have your first relationship with a woman?
Oh my gosh, being that I was a hidden, secretive Southern Baptist preacher's kid, I had to keep that hidden. But anytime anyone would say, "Oh, you're a queer, you're one of those faggies," no, I'm very affectionate woman. I'm just a very affectionate person. I'm a touchy-feely. That's how I would get away with it. But I was in elementary school.
In elementary school, they told you were queer?
Oh, in elementary school, they would call me Aggie, or you're different. They would do stuff like that. But yeah, it didn't bother me then, because, it was just, go away.
Can't do anything about it, right?
You can't do anything about it. And I didn't live by kids. I lived way on the boondocks. So I didn't live in a neighborhood. That was my brother and I. That was it, so.
And then when was your first relationship with a woman, sexual relationship?
When I graduated from high school and was somewhat on my own, that was when I first had my first, what do you call it, endeavor with a woman. And it was like, whoa, wow, whoa. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to explain it, to feel it, I just knew, wow, this is cool. This is what I want.
Good.
So I was probably 17.
And the woman, how old was she?
She was a married woman. So yeah, that was the bad part of me, is that I had relationships with married women, and that was confusing to me. That didn't make sense to me. Is like, it. And the weird part about it was I didn't really advance to them. Because I'm such a touchy-feely, and I was very, my wife will tell you I was a huge flirt. I didn't realize that I was a huge flirt. That was just who I was. That's what I knew. And so being compassionate and tender and, kind-hearted like that, some of the women would come and be close to me, and it's like, wait, you're married. You're not supposed to be doing this, but what do I know?
But there was safety in that too.
There was huge safety in that. And you couldn't explain it at that time when you're going through it. It's like, you're safe. You're going to be okay, because you're not going to tell on me. You're not going to tell the people at church that I'm doing this, because it would look bad at you too. It was weird. I don't know how to say it.
You made it work for you.
I did.
It's pretty good at 17. Yeah. I mean, really, it's interesting.
I never thought of it like that, but okay.
Right. No, that's it. How you've evolved with your music and your sexuality is really interesting. So what's your greatest adventure so far?
Greatest adventure. Oh my gosh. I think the greatest
moment,
adventure
don't
is just being in a relationship with my wife that I love with all my heart. And it's like every day is another brand new day. And I fall in love deeper and deeper each day. That's the greatest adventure.
Mm-hmm. That's a gift.
And that adventure is still happening.
Mm-hmm. How long has it been now?
We're on our year 16.
That's great. We're going to talk about that pretty soon. Not today.
Okay.
With both of you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's a good adventure. How about an adventure that was just yours?
I think the year that I came out to myself
Mm-hmm.
and to the world, and I took a trip by myself to Oregon, to a gay Christian conference, and
Wow, how'd you
that's
find
where I
that?
met. That's where I met my wife.
Right.
But that to me was an adventure in itself for stepping out and going, oh my God, other people are going to be there like me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a huge, beautiful adventure for me. So that kind of adventure.
That information. How did you find that information that this existed?
It's really weird. It's because I was living in Minnesota, mm-hmm. and was working for some people that were using me, and I didn't realize that at the time. Mm-hmm. But I told them what I really needed to get away. I really needed to be around other gay people. I needed to find people like me, and it was driving me nuts, and everybody knew it. And so we were all trying to figure out different places to go. Do I go on what's that cruise line for lesbians?
Oh, right. I know what you mean. I don't know.
So mm-hmm. they suggested that. I looked into that. It's like, nah, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to sail on a ship. I don't want to be like that. It's like, well, do I take a trip to where other lesbians are at in another state or something? And so we were all doing our own little researches. And one of the ladies said, hey, I found this link. Check it out and see if this is what you want. Because she too was a hidden Christian woman who was involved in church. And so she took it in a different area. I wasn't looking at anything church related because I'd already been booted out. I was
booted out of the church?
Oh yeah. That's another whole story. So I did I looked on the link. We'll go backwards. I did check the link out, and I was like, hey, this is me, other Christian gay people. Okay, cool. So I did it. I checked it out, and I went.
Does it have a name?
Evangelicals Concerned. I arrived a day early.
Good.
And in that day early, Kathy also arrived, because she was the one who was in charge of helping all the guest speakers get to their rooms, get set up, show them what's taking place. So she had her own little task. And after I got picked up from the airport, we got back, and I'm doing all these, helping run with this one lady who was, we're getting to know each other, we're talking, and she was the one who was making sure all the rooms were ready and available, all the conference setup places were ready. So I'm helping do all this, and we're walking to one section, and this lady poked her head outside of this door, and all I could see was this face, and her glasses had changed to dark, so I couldn't see her eyes, but I could just see this face. But I could feel this vibrating radiation of this woman, and I was like, oh. I was just standing there staring at her, and the person who I'm working with is going, Tandy, excuse me, are you with me still? Oh yeah, really? I'm sorry.
Now, that is a really good story. Hold that for the couples interview too. Okay,
I will hold more, because there's more to that story. So yeah.
Who made the first move? Obviously you.
I did.
Yeah. Good.
And that's a part of the story to be continued.
All right. So then were you released from the church, you said?
Yeah, when I came back, I can't remember if I did it, if I told the people before I left or after I left, but I was like, I can't hide who I am anymore. I have to be alive and real, because I was literally dying inside. And I think it was
Yeah.
before, that's why I went to the conference, is because
Uh-huh.
I finally had come out. And I told a group of women who I was doing the soundboard for their music worship. There was a group of ladies, and I told them at the night, I was like, I just want to let you know that I am coming out as a gay woman. I just want you to know that I'm a lesbian. And you would have thought the world had crumbled and died. And
Really?
they right then and there told me, we will tell you where you can sit when you come to church, whom you can sit with, and if we even want you to come back.
Really?
Like what? And
Isn't that
then
stunning?
that's
Yeah.
at one church. That's where I was helping out. At the church where I was involved as the youth director, they told me that I was on probation because there wasn't enough youth attending
Oh, I see.
to be having a
Yeah.
youth.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, wait. We have enough youth. No, we're just going to put them on hold right now.
Oh, God.
Like, oh, so I see how this is how it goes. So I left both of them. I did attend, came back a couple of times, and the cold shoulder and the looks was enough to drive anybody insane. So I left the Baptist church, and the other one was a Calvary Chapel. And when I walked in, they did walk right up to me and told me where I could sit and whom I could sit with, and that I should not, when it's time to shake the hands and go around and say good morning to everyone, to just stay where I was.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, never mind, I'm done. And I never went back to church.
Who did they say you should sit with? Was it a man or a woman?
One of the ladies who was very much in the leadership and had power.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, you can't mix and mingle. You can't sit with whomever you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done with church.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Kathy and I got together, we did attempt to go back to the Catholic church, because that's what Kathy was Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
And then that didn't feel too good. And there's stories that we'll tell you later on about that one. But we did end up being accepted and very much welcomed and wanted at the Episcopal church, where I was a music director until we moved back to California.
That's pretty common. The Episcopal churches are more open.
They were very, very, very warm, very welcoming, very supportive. And we can go back anytime to Bemidji, and they're like, where are you? Come.
Yeah.
So they're very beautiful people.
Mm-hmm. Well, the rejection is.
Oh, yeah. If you're not solid in yourself, that rejection can totally, I can see why some people take their lives. I really can.
Have you ever
because when that's all you know, yeah.
Have you thought of taking your own life in your process?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Many times. I would drive down the road and think, what if I just drive in front of that diesel truck? And then I would think, no, I don't want to hurt that man or that person driving.
Yeah, right.
I would feel bad. Or what if I just drive so fast and I run right into that embankment? And then I'd go, but what if I don't do it hard enough? And then I'm an invalid, and then I have to have my parents take care of me, or someone else. No, I don't want to do that either. Or what if I just drive off this mountain and no one finds me, and then I can just suffer and die? And I'm like, well, what if that hurts more? Maybe what if I don't really kill myself and I'm suffering? That would suck even worse. So yeah, it was a constant battle.
So that was all prior to your coming out?
Yes, all prior to coming out.
Yeah.
There were times when it was very devastating. And I can't tell you how many times I would go someplace quiet or alone where nobody could hear me and just scream and plead that God would not make me be like this. Why am I like this? Just change me, take it away,
Take away your sexuality?
Yeah. Don't let me think like this. I mean, why am I like this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was devastating at times.
I suggest that you, maybe you've already done this, view one of the interviews, Barbara Beck.
Which one?
Barbara Beck.
Barbara Beck, okay. Okay.
Good. I think you'll take away something. I mean, you will from all the interviews, but in reference to that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's awful. I'm glad you weren't successful.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
I would have missed out on this beautiful relationship that I have with my wife.
I know.
And our children.
She would have missed out too. It's a two-way street there.
Thank you.
Good. So what is your dream for the future?
Oh, dream for the future. To live our life in a beautiful way up here in our new surroundings that we purchased on our 5 acres with our children, our grandchildren. Still like to do a little bit more traveling. Hopefully we can do that in the next year or so, and just be with our kids, just be with family, and just live beautifully up here. We love it.
Sounds like a great purchase.
It was a great purchase.
Yeah,
And we're hopefully, that it'll just keep going, and we're hoping the kids and grandkids will just be a part of it as well.
They can build their own houses right
Exactly.
on your 5 acres,
Exactly.
is a lot of space.
It is. It very much is. And I still want to do the empowerment drumming. I still want to do music. So I would love to write some more music and do a little bit more creating. So that's my visions and my goals.
Don't stop with your visions. Good ones. So do you have questions you'd like to ask me about the collection?
I've heard a lot from what Kathy was sharing with me, and I've read some of your things. And so I'm very much intrigued with what you're doing, and I'm glad that you are doing it. Thank you. I'm thankful that there's an outlet that we can share our stories and we can learn from each other, and that we can continue moving forward with others and encourage them to do the same.
So in closing, if you knew that you were going to die shortly, what would you like to be remembered for?
The heartwarming, just crazy girl that loved everybody. Who was always there, ready to listen.
I can tell that. You listen with your music too.
Yes, ma'am.
Music is wonderful.
No, music is my lifesaver. If it had not been for music all these years, I don't think I would still be here.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I could understand.
Music was my outlet to write about the pain, the joy, the sorrow, the excitement. Yeah, music was my outlet. Yeah.
So send us a little snapshot of your music and we'll put it in your interview if you'd like to. Yeah.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay, so I'll see you soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You as well.
It's a silent night after a cold winter day. I'm missing my wife while she's away. I sit in the quiet of our beautiful home, longing to see her lovely face, yet I sit here alone.